Welcome to the Russian language course for beginner. Today we have lesson number 16, if I'm not wrong. Last week, last lesson, we learned how to introduce yourself. What is your name? Меня зовут Alexander, меня зовут Иван, etc. This is the new batch of words that we start learning. This is the last few, the words that we have learned in the last few lessons. And also, we started learning countries. And I wanted to teach you a few countries, but because there was not enough time, then we only learned one or two countries. So, and we start with countries today. So those are the countries that I'm going to teach you today. And for each country, we will learn a few details. Let's start with Russia. Russia, in Russian language, it's called Россия. Россия. The stress is on the last, on E, stress is on E. And you will find that here you have double S. And it happens sometimes that in Russian language you have two consonants together. You need to pronounce it a bit longer than normal. Россия, Россия. Then the Russian language would be русский язык. Also, you might ask me a question, why Россия is written with O and русский язык is written with U, and it is because of some historical reasons. Россия is the modern name of Russia. However, in the ancient time, Russia was not called Россия, but it was called Русь. And this is why русский язык has the letter U. I speak Russian language. Last time we mentioned that по-русски is an adverb. Therefore, you can only describe a verb. How do I speak? I speak in a Russian way, по-русски. And if you want to say, I know Russian language, then you can't say по-русски. You must say, я знаю русский язык. And the person who is from Russia, or a Russian person, would be русский for a man, or русская for a woman. Now, if you want to say that that person is Russian, you can say он русский. And if it is a female, you can say она русская. So this, and I'm going to explain you all these things for other countries as well. So let's go on and look at England. England is Anglia. English language. Английский язык. Here is one of those exceptions, one of those many exceptions when the stress moves. The stress is not stable because in Anglia, the stress falls on the first syllable, on A, and английский язык, the stress falls here on the second syllable. Я говорю по-английски. Я говорю по-английски. And people from England, if it is a man, then it is Anglichanin. Anglichanin. And if it is a female, then it would be Anglichanka. Anglichanka. Let's move on to Egypt, since we have so many people from Egypt. In Egypt, I think we can't say we have Egyptian language, but we have Arabic language in Egypt. So Arabic language would be Arabский язык. Arabский язык. Now, please note that here in Arabский язык you have two consonants. The first one is voiced, the second one is voiceless. And as we said before, if you have such a situation, then the pronunciation of the first consonants should change according to the second consonant. And since the second consonant is voiceless, then B must be pronounced as P. We don't say Arabский язык, but we say Arabский язык. The person who lives in Egypt is Egyptian, and the female would be Egyptianka. Okay, guys, if you think I'm moving too fast, or if there is anything you don't understand, feel free to ask me. I see no questions in the chat, so I assume I can continue with the same speed. So let's continue. Because я говорю по-арабски. По-арабски. Я говорю по-арабски. The next country would be Philippines. Our line is from Philippines, therefore I must mention this country. Filipino language. Филиппинский язык. Я говорю по-филиппински. Stop all the stresses. Филиппины. Филиппинский язык. Я говорю по-филиппински. See, here the stress doesn't change. It is always on the letter E. Филиппины, name of the country, филиппинский язык, говорю по-филиппински. And people from Philippines are called Filipinex. and Philippines. As you see, when we talk about ethnicity or nationality, there are a few ways, a few different ways how to make it. You need to add different kind of ending. It is often yes at the end, but it can be also another ending, like Anglichanin, there will be another ending. Therefore, I must go step by step, explain each of them. India. India is an exception. We can't say that there is an Indian language because India has so many languages. Therefore, let's say Hindi, the language spoken in India is called Hindi. 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 Я говорю на Hindi. And here you can't say по-хиндийски. You cannot say this по-хиндийски. We cannot say it in this way because Hindi is not the name of country. For example, England is the name of country. You can say я говорю по-английски. But Hindi is name of a language. Therefore, this would not work. Here we can only use this way. I speak in Hindi. And people from India would be Indians. Yes. Now, here I might be wrong. I think it's Indica. 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 Okay, and here you see the phenomenon of the stress shift. Again, it moved from the first syllable to the second syllable. India. Indeed, sorry. Indeed. 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 There's a question. Yeah, you can't say South Africa. In South Africa, you know, I find it. South Africa, you have many languages there. You have many languages there, and if you want to say, I speak in English, я говорю по-английски. If you want to speak, I speak Afrikaans. I'm not sure how we, because I never heard anybody speaking Afrikaans and Russian. По-зулусски. Yeah. По-английски, по-южноафрикански. You can say, я говорю по-южноафрикански. Я говорю по-южноафрикански. And this would mean one of the languages of South Africa. Okay. And a few countries which are quite important in the world. France. No, I don't know Afrikaans, unfortunately, but I would definitely like to learn African language someday because I know South Africa has such a rich history. Maybe in future. France. French language would be французский язык. Please note the stress has changed. And also some suffixes here has changed. Французский язык. Я говорю по-французски. And people from France are француз. Француженка. Apparently, guys, you are wondering why every country has a different way to call their people. Why don't we have only one ending or what? However, when you learn more countries, you'll find out that the patterns keep repeating. It means that if we have 250 countries, it doesn't mean that we have 250 different ways how to describe people there. We only have maybe 5 or 6 ways. And you'll find that they keep repeating. I might have some typos from time to time. Please apologize me. Kitai, China. Kitai, very prominent country nowadays, very powerful. Kitai, Chinese language. Китайский язык. Китайский язык. Я говорю по-китайски. And people from China are Китаец for a male, Китаянка for a female, Китай, китайский язык, я говорю по-китайски, китаец, китаянка. Испания, Spain, Испания. Испанский язык. Я говорю по-испански. The stress doesn't move. And Spanish person would be Испанец, Испанка. So you see that this ending keeps repeating pretty frequently. It's just you need to remember which countries you can't use it, which countries you can. Finally, the last country in the list, Япония, Japan. Япония. Японский язык. Японский язык. Я говорю по-японски. The stress doesn't move. And the people there are Японец, Японка. So we have touched on countries. I'll try to make some exercises for you in the next lessons, so you remember better. Okay, so this is about countries, and today, so basically now we finished what we were supposed to finish during our last lesson, and today we're gonna start a new topic. We're gonna talk about verbs in Russian language. So far, we learned only nouns and adjectives, and we didn't really touch on any verbs. The only verbs that you know by now is probably говорить, because we occasionally use this verb, and we also know the verb звать, because we use it in the sentence меня зовут Иван. That's pretty much it. And now it is time for us to learn some verbs, because without verbs you can't make any significant sentences. And learning verbs in Russian is a very big topic, because there's so much grammar in verbs. And let me explain to you what are we going to do for the next few lessons, maybe at least 2 lessons. If you want to build a sentence in English language and in Russian as well, then the most simple sentence, or a relatively standard sentence, would consist of 3 elements. That would be subject, verb, subject, object. Subject, verb, object. Subject, maybe not everybody knows what those terms are. Subject is a thing, is the source of action, is the thing which makes an action. An item, maybe an item that makes an action, source of action. The verb is the action done by subject, and object is the recipient of this object. It's an item, recipient of action. No questions apparently is good. And to illustrate it, a simple sentence: I talk to you. I talk to you. Now, the I would be a subject, talk would be a verb, to you is an object. Okay. And likewise, in Russian language, every sentence, basic sentence, would also have these 3 elements. However, each of these elements has a lot of grammar. If you want to build a sentence correctly, you need to learn a lot of grammar. Therefore, we make things as simple as we can, because we want to learn step by step and improve little by little. So we simplify things, and first we create sentences without object. The object will blow your mind. So many things to learn. So we get rid of the object. We want to have subject and verb. I want to tell you that perhaps for subject you already know all the grammar that you need, because subject in Russian language is always used in nominative case, and the only thing that can change there in terms of grammar is the number. It can be singular or plural, and we have already learned how to make plural So perhaps your knowledge about subject is sufficient to build sentences. Now now we need to learn about verbs. What can I tell you about verbs? What, like, a brief plan about what you're going to learn about verbs in future, not during this course, but in future. You must know that in verbs, there are three times past, so time, present, past, future. Then there is also aspect. Also there is mood. Indicative, imperative, conditional. Voice. Passive. Number. Okay, so those are different aspects of verbs which you're going to learn in Russian language if you go for advanced course. And we can't cover it in this course, therefore, for times, we are only going to learn the present time. We're going to learn only the imperfect aspect. We're going to learn only indicative mood. I'm not sure whether those terms are clear to you, but I'm gonna explain them to you later as we go on. And we're going to learn only the active voice. Oh my God! And now I recall that I wanted to tell you something about countries. One more thing. I beg you a pardon because now I touched the the question of verbs, but there is still one thing about countries that I forgot to tell you. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. Yeah, my apology. Yes, I don't know why I forgot about it. I want to teach you how to tell you where you are from, how to do the sentence, and how to say that I am from Russia, I am from England, I am from Egypt. And one more time, I apologize. How do you say, where are you from? We use the preposition is. Preposition is means from. Yeah, is. And the preposition is always used with genitive case. And so far we didn't learn cases, but we occasionally touched on cases. For example, we talked about genitive case when we learned pronouns. Yeah, and now also I'll show you how to make a genitive case. So basically, when you want to say I am from some country, you say "я из," and then you put the name of a country, but you must put it in genitive case. And luckily, it is very easy to put name of a country in genitive case. If the name of a country ends with a consonant, add a at the end. And out of the list that we have learned, there is only one country that ends with consonant, that would be Egypt. And therefore, if you want to say I am from Egypt, you must say is Egypta. Here is must also end is Egypta. Here, Egypt is a special country. You must also add delete the letter year. But for other countries, you don't need. I'll give you another. Singapore, 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 Singapore. And if you want to say I am from Singapore, you just add я из Сингапура. Another country that comes to my mind that has a consonant at the end would be Nepal or Nepal. Nepal. Russian would be Nepal. And if you want to say I am from Nepal, you say я из Непала. Okay. Then, for most countries, we should have learned я из Бангладеша. Я из Бангладеша. Then, if the name of a country ends with R or ya, ya, then replace you must replace the ending with E. Okay. For example, я из России. Англии, Индии, Америки, and so on. And one more rule, it is about a country which the name of a country is in plural, like Philippines. If the name of a country is in plural, then you must delete the ending. So if you look at Philippines particularly, then you must delete the ending and you get ya is Philippine. And those are all the rules that I can think of. And one more. If the name of a country ends with ikratka, then you must change it with ya. Китая. Я из Китая. And that is all. So there are 4 rules, but for most of the countries, maybe 95%, you are sufficient with 2 rules only. Okay, and what is your homework for today? I would like to tell me where are you from and what languages you speak. And if you can tell me your ethnicity, you're Egyptian or Filipino or Chinese, whatever, please tell me that. So I would like you to send me 3 sentences. We're gonna stop anytime soon. I don't know if I have enough time to finish. I am from your country. I speak what languages? You can, if you speak more than one, then write more than one. And also, I am, and your ethnicity. Chinese, Russian, etc. So please write these 2 sentences to me. And I think our time is up. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Really appreciate that you're here. Happy to see you. And see you again tomorrow. We only have 1 day, therefore the homework is so short. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it was useful for you. And have a good day. Bye-bye.
Здравствуйте. До свидания.
До свидания.